oje brena utim disa and come we ebre. The only challenger me trauma we ni say na obi neti ha. Ana nano da be din komo kama so ebe yese enei obesa de makoma chi kakra ansa na nkomo aye bi di nankasa no watimi e de aba ene ntima ma ohan de boye nkomo kakra fo yakwa chi kakra man
o man mi da me chi obi biara eno e ko launch community mining wo Busumi Fran.
Oh, okay. Busumi Fran.
Yes.
I see.
Next week, me the pictures on my bro.
But say here pictures in because the last time I checked on Ekosi says almost say maybe community man take a different form and shape. Who said last year didn't come on? Oh, koye ba could be my own home hospital dining nipana who see kama. Every before you endorse say community mining.
Yes.
But I'm say binimum sun tia say ya different. We say ye momo dia senke benya diako ya sako pa hontuma bi no na nipa hu se de esitie na o man ka say bia ye illegal an illegality ya to din say we your community mining
me for the
okay and the Dominican na chumo and I say very good open you so na ye fan to was here exactly Busumi frame for that was so one practice an illegality not regularize your mom.
No me galam say.
No me illegal mining.
Baby I ko no. And you have no formalization. Cowardry man.
Say mo man no man na da fine, bibia da pepepe o mra kwanso. It must there be am too for magudie ne bra mo ni.
So jani bi antumi nkochi o mo china. Ana from an egwen ya mom license.
Baby na kan na o mo tu no enye ne kwanso.
As at yesterday no me galam say for omo galam say o ne ko pam say baba ya mom ntino omo ntwen san monya abutre ma omo load pictures no nti deputy minister ko enra omo follow up one say some time ago me be discuss operational
exactly
flash it wow nti pictures near ready I will interrupt the course of our discussion pictures near ready we'll discuss them in the course of our interaction.
Okay.
Now, to be honest with you, now thousands of people are employed there, direct and indirect. With my pictures, and you're ready, then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
So that is it. But before that, I think I've sent you some WhatsApp message. That is the agreement, just to do a recap. 19th October 2023 Opa Busumi Bafoni a buy through the minister. Yeah, Atlantic Lithium for license. This is a kind of one more 2 lithium. Local company, I'm from Barari. The 15-year lease. We share a website, a license, no. Yeah, they are man for to read. Maybe in the course of the next 1 month, yeah, the best share media amount. And then in the course of 1 month or so, you back up parliament for ratification. But you negotiate terms with them, which is fundamentally different from the normal one, OBBR, OBCCA. So last week we discussed a few of them. One. You see company into your royalty 10%. But me a summary. Royalty 10%. Oh, now confuse oh now if you are buying 10% now no, that's not the whole thing. Now 10% the sika you pay to the owner of the mineral. You can say the highest in the world is between 8 to 26% royalty. Chile. Using margin.
The highest.
The highest. Minimum 8, maximum 26%. I am now lines and circle 2 lithium or Chile. You have to pay. So that means that they can charge you as low as 8 and as high as 26, depending on the margins. Once any cost of operations. Outside Chile, we have the highest in the world. Royalty.
Really?
I am telling you, 10% for lithium. Yes. So the next question is, and then now, yen to me in charge, say you have say 10 to 26 to the Chile.
But you know, because I mean,
yes, one who can show film, I see comedies.
The way they have any back as
we are just a small aspect of it. But the you see, mining a global. You cannot just sit there and do whatever you like. At the same this radio, you may
standards. No,
you are competing with City, you are competing with Peace FM, One FM.
Jobian is the doubt enough in our baby.
Yes. Well, until first of all, you made your part. Before I realize now, your journalists move somewhere, you know, yes, social conditions of service, pay in your manema. Before I realize radio be pure baby, then yours will go down. Amount for quite TA than yours. That is it. There are so many radio stations, so that's the same thing. Mine is global. Into 10% royalty. You can say Ghana 5%. So we have double royalties for lithium. So question amount for business say, are then now to me in charge you to say Chile. Maybe 10 to 26. Now Nigeria almost to medium yeah, bet me the oil industry to Nigeria.
Debbie.
Almost over 1 million barrels. Omokra said the Yaman Koyemo, they can even do 2 million or more. We do barely 200,000 barrels a day. They say monkey play by what?
Sizes.
Yes. Saudi Arabia in 10 million plus. Now Russia and yet oil need gas and the bully EU need the West. No. You understand that? So if look at a country like Saudi Arabia, the only country with spare capacity for oil in the world. Saudi Arabia can single-handedly change the price of oil in the world. And the Saudi oil minister announced, he said, oh, we are withdrawing 2 million barrels a day from the market. You will see, price will go up. Sounds almost more pumping more. Then that is what is going to happen. So that is what I want you to know. Omahini, Chile has 40% of the world's reserves of lithium. You want to compare yourself to them? In Tomu charge 8 to 26. Omu isu margin. One country get 40% of the world's reserve. Well, it's among the top 10 in terms of a quality lithium project. But Zimbabwe has the biggest reserves in Africa.
Zimbabwe?
Yes. And number 6 in the world. I'm producing lithium. Mali. Who call Mali? I'm a project. We're from Gulamina. You tend to name the location. Wow, to say the Gulamina. Gulamina is almost 3 times the size of Ewea. Zimbabwe and Mali. Zimbabwe and Mali, they don't have more than 6% royalty. Australia produces about half of the world's lithium. Mempesobe confuses reserves and production. You can have the largest reserves, but you may not necessarily be the biggest producer. You understand? Like Venezuela, there's always this huge debate between they and Saudi who has the largest oil reserves. But because of the economic situations, you know, petrol production has gone down. But they have, depending on what you are looking at, they're either number 1 or number 2. In Kofobi, because of more reserves than Saudi. It means Saudi are number 1 or number 2. So close to about half of the world's lithium currently is produced in Australia. But reserves, those who have known reserves, Chile. In fact, 3 countries control almost about 70%. Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia. On my borders, no more for baby, lithium triangle. That's why you have close to about 70% of the world's reserves. Inti Ewoya is projected to do anything between 300 to 360,000 tons a year for the next 12 years. Government G 10% royalty. I think we have done a great job.
Is it that you understand, you know, and in that field,
say we almost
because sorry, I say
no, they read the report.
I sorry, I mean, said be a mono dear no, and I would the most say I didn't dear. I don't know for 100 now. My emu edu. I didn't know they be paying for Moody Usa. Do come bottom. This is what is on the street.
Ankara at Yen charge Chilean one. Yen charge 26%.
Kempeja Mukakra. Yen Tias, no. See, I will form dodo.
Omahini. One time, episode Tias, no say again. Mining it is a food bazaar. Ukoton tosa. Uko mokalata and toast liner. Ukwana okoto. unless that particular lady knew or a woman, you go around to look for maybe fair price. Oh, maybe or demand 4, 5, 6, 10. You go around. Sabi ashawo kura o kokeke. Men ko bi da mo but omuko. Yeah.
Uhwem
kakra because checking yema bi. Wow, nti uye nyama the dia. People go somewhere. People go to Mali. You say people are prepared to raise to the bottom. Nti Mali say, "Oh, come." Yeah, come. Yeah, come. Zimbabwe has the largest reserves in Africa. You say they are going through economic difficulties. You understand? Mm-hmm. That is not to say that ABI oil is also in Ghana, but they have a problem. Nema Zimbabwe found following their issues. So the investors could as well walk to Mali, go to Zimbabwe.
Options were
that's number one. So people can decide to bluff you. And you see, lithium and Tisa go though. Ultimate thought central bank, you hold it as money and not be visa. No. If you've just seen one and you want to bluff, and in any case, then be prepared to do it yourself. It takes me back to this small scale issue.
Okay, so when I'm
wow, this is changing room. Where Busumi from the friend dance so.
Busumi from dance.
The village, your friend of dance so. By a dance committee mining Busumi from. Wow. So that is it. Your office. Now, I'm saying, you will tell you, so any kind of things you see.
It's with the ASEMPA, the Facebook page. I won't hear
wow.
Oh, so none of me are aware.
Now, yes, a community, my says a community. Maybe a country of Rara. You can't come and do this thing without telling me. So that's the chief there. Okay? It is the same way we also expect the chiefs to help us fight Galamsey. So that's the deputy minister. Nechini, director of small scale mining. So this is a community. Same TSC community mining. You can't launch community mining without involving the community, without the chief, without the MC knowing. Wow. I say they have to understand what is in need for them. Wow. This is a deputy minister. MP. No, we normally invite the MPs too. Mm-hmm. So that is Akwesi Boatin or something. He's the MP for Busumi from we and found. Yeah, call launch or opposition stronger. We invite
at the hospital or
clinic, mini clinic. Say who can say discuss operational manual. So at least minor injury. You better treat it. Treat so much more finance. Bibisa and then they cannot take the person to ABI at the nearest big hospital. Where you say? And now barely 24 hours. They landed yesterday in the evening. Wow.
Okay.
Your mom will good catch up. So that was a demonstration. That is it. Okay? So this is something they will pay over 2-3 years. Work and pay. That is it. So we almost use mercury. Omahi, you know what is interesting about this? No me galamsey. In Kofobi be galamsey or that is it. So I've sent a lot of pictures. You see it. So government amount machine go and work like taxi, work and pay. Until we a lot of workers there. Mm-hmm. So these are days. A lot of workers. Brunei we offer what do you call it? UK. This London Bullion Market Association. They want to come and understand how our system works. Say a certification. In terms by itself, they want to know where our gold is coming from before they can accept it in the market. So that is it. So BIGATUM, wow, people get up, they are going to work here. And then Kofa Bujao, Muton, Biani, and all those things. So you see, Omahini, this is what I've been saying. You see the list, so this is a demonstration. Kakrebia Mudi Gumuno. Then they demonstrate in front of the people. So at the end of the day, Omuti Omukari and nobody Kakraba for good catcher. Then they pay electricity, they maintain the place. The Akano, no mama, or Hinika Krabi, no one can in Nanso. In Paguano, so then they'll give some to the assembly. Okay? They will give something to the assembly, and then they will also give something to the what do you call it? The traditional council. The rest no much teachers properly. Look at them. Properly attire. Insist will be able to PPE. Okay?
Asanta de we.
That is it. Properly dressed.
The Galamsey illegal mine is in
now Galamsey, you don't see the pictures.
yeah.
The way they just wear anything, they go. That is it. So that's the kind of thing we are talking about. Wow. And it took a lot of time. I worked on the license myself. The Konongo office processed it. Yes. Konongo office. Number process here.
I see.
You can see the almost a helmet. And that is the almost small kitchen. It doesn't need to be too expensive. I mean, something decent.
Yeah. To fit that status.
Yeah, I mean,
a formal setup.
Last cake, containers go up. Wow, kitchen, washroom, at the back there, corner there, male and female. Me. Either so be small clinic, be mini and over first aid. So basic will be prior. So then they get me light won't be. I look at them.
Okay, so with the chiefs, did they be any obium? I am for your way.
They are there. It's a way in your Photoshop.
You never holding you now, you are aware.
At least these people now.
Oba ASEMPA page. I won't say you didn't for you go at the channel.
So that's the deputy minister in the middle, and then you can see some of the workers who decide to take a group photograph. And then they saw the people.
Okay, so Moni Ajuma, so that is a basic understanding of community mining.
Of course. Yeah, mom small say license, that's all.
And yet biara mining.
Oh, Debbie. Now where Galamsey?
Debbie.
Oh, you compare Galamsey pictures. Yeah, documentary, so that's it. So when they come,
they
came around, Obia Giatum. Wow, then they can crave no more come assembly. Say even 20,000 for every month and not 10,000 they come assembly. No more issue receipts. No more DBA come traditional council. Even if it is 2,000, 3,000, remember the chief.
So we on partisan lines, Anna.
Any partisan lines. Now where there are people who are sitting there, is it the MPP NDC? Oh, so big it a party colors be an be all. The next, if we are going to launch, if it is an NDC who is an MP there, we invite him.
Baby Amukubia.
Oh, okay.
You're not bothered about who the MP is.
Oh, my Juma, do you look at where people come from?
Debbie, competence.
Oh, and I said, and come see Rara for Niago Minas Commission. Sir. Why? The good deposit and share party colors. Okay? That is it. You have a baby or bolly. That's the next one. In 2 weeks, you're back on launch it.
Hey.
Yes, we'll invite them.
So move fading out all illegal activities.
The regional office for Minerals Commission in Savannah region is being built at Bole. Is Bole the regional capital?
Wow.
Is Bole the regional capital of Savannah?
Debbie.
What's the regional capital of Savannah? Damongo. Who's the MP for Damongo? Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. And then one for he could have ordered the moon Kosi or. But it says no, build it where the gold is located. Bole, Kolof.
The minister said for Damongo.
Free Damongo.
It's an opportunity to go to Damongo.
Yes. I don't know one pound. What are you talking about? You're back on chairman, maybe in 2-3 weeks. I will invite the MP there. Only he'll come to the occasion. That is it. Because Oko site when people get up there, they don't say that, hey, where is your party card? And then Juma near pay.
Juma.
The parliament now, like the MPP, NDC, they are talking about unemployment, jobs, and all those things, and that's it. So at the mine site, there's nothing like MPP, NDC. Of course, nothing stop an NDC person from coming from license. Nothing coming from MPP from coming from license. We are not politics. I know several
capacity to do the job.
Several people who are members of NDC who have small scale license. So I'm will be a MPP or small scale license and all those.
That's not what you're looking at.
Ghanaian can who the buy a amount. Until we are MPP asem, and NDC asem, a Juma. That is it. The folks who are sitting there, they are just human beings who were doing their koli, and we thought that so let's formalize you. We didn't go and ask anybody who MPP and now you NDC. There be a Juma no moped. So if you're an MPP, you have an NDC friend, and he comes to your house and you're eating, says he's hungry, you will not let him eat. You didn't see that beautiful picture when the minority that was celebrating his birthday.
Yeah.
The other guy invited him. That is it. You know, the eco launch around is not about NPP NDC. It is about jobs that we are creating for people to work lawfully. Here. Wow, we didn't Minerals Commission consensus. We NPP are now there, and now we NDC. There be. It's just a community thing. The chiefs are there. Why will you do that? It's jobs they want.
Normally, those sites are owned by who?
Oh, say normally sometimes the chiefs lead it. Then they want to do it.
Yeah, an indigenous. Maybe put two people together.
Yes. Cooperatives, groups, no matter. Until last recently, guys be by almost boys were saying map new. Almost check here and there. Then we send the officer to the place. The officer went to investigate. I said, boss, you better me a quan down. I said, okay. Formal call DCO, about DC money, and then give a copy of the manual to the DC. Now you take also them to the chief and explain to them that this Minerals Commission district officer and the lady. Wow, or he has to accept it. Wow, then the DC and ASEMPA will have to accept it. Ansana. Your letter, so the place has been earmarked and demarcated and gazetted for community mining.
But sometimes,
yeah, license no more. Because you know, for some
but sometimes, do you forcibly take those lands from maybe to say me Kruma Hafu? The last time now, maybe I send them a text. Say, on person did call New Montishim. Now, we are committee. Did call New Montishim.
No say no, maybe the maps no bar now. All the bar will say, oh no, part of it I got to be DM. So we normally, lady, who invite the company and say, oh, look, these people have brought some maps. It's within your concession. And you be, is it possible? Say, obey me, their more money, their more small scale.
You try to lobby.
Yes, we do that. By and large, a lot is successful. By and large, to some to. They will say no because a whole main operations. Wow, a lot go through, some also don't go through. Some too, a whole can main project in John to me farm out. And then some of them too, we say not company, no, it's not something they will have loved to give it out, but as a workout, because there have been instances where
and
then they agree. Then after some months and years, they jump on their concession. So own some more association. So they will say no. We are treating a nine because before I realize you jump into our concession again. So we do it under street condition.
Well, there were main conversations now here, but the interest go catch and person mass local cars and be manafi aketwana kwenze bibri. Payment schedule.
I am not so crazy about the payment than the wider implications. Maybe nyanka free. Oh yes. Omahini, have you read about what mercury is doing to us?
Health-wise.
You've been hearing the doctors talking. A queer off. So yeah, as a man, you sign you say you have a mini-matter convention that we commit to eliminating the use of what? Mercury. Until the government of Ghana has ratified it. Until I said yes, you stop the use of mercury. Take steps to eliminate it. Wow, that's one thing. We use mercury. No champagne, nothing. That is it. And then recovery over 90%, as against champagne less than 40. Wow. So one, you are honoring your commitment to the convention you ratified. 2, recovery is higher. 3, it doesn't use mercury. So you can imagine if we do this in all over Ghana. Are you not reducing the use of mercury?
Yes, sir. Secure.
No. Health-wise. Wow, but yen to me in farm free in here and can make dear because your crusher, your a melee, a concentrate in super, and when she said they sing ball, If they don't have money, you bomb like Bongo Swan say your mom is for war. Baby, do come see Charlie go knock or down Kakanti, Yamba Boamu. So, yeah, this Kakomagiological Sobinomical further investigations. That's what we are supposed to do. It is in the interest of the Republic to do it.
It does also mean that Kwanya go catcher should take advantage.
Oh, there be. It's registered, everything. Nice. Told me you manomu Johnny Kaka, do baby and no.
Yeah, but back
because you see here no we Galam say that side. Okay? And then they were using, if you like, mercury. So they're polluting the environment, a danger to themselves too. And look, there are some areas in Ghana, mercury levels, oh my God. And Accra, a very dangerous thing. So if you have to find a way of making sure the thing is done, that is it. And then you see, a baby as a state, you have to absorb certain responsibility. During COVID, and the Yanti water bill, so
yeah, we did that.
Yanti is Yama shots because the money the state to spend.
Okay, we don't pay attention.
The issue, the implications are far bigger and beneficial than say people should go and do it. Okay, that is it. Were people paying for COVID shots? No. I took it free. Everybody took it free. Other than that, people will not do it. For example, I know for a fact that treatment of leprosy is free. Never be free. One year, especially those diseases that spread by droplet infection. Okay? And now communicable easily. If you don't do it, people will stay and then before the whole population is dying. It's the responsibility of the state to do it. Why? Because it's killing us. That is it. Until we dear Miss Row, and I mean, can't own our car. Politics in
okay, so ASEMPA 94.7, Yawa Debia, Chief Executive Minerals Commission in Asia. Na Obia Jumusubian Busa questions Busa. Na Wasadi addition asoso dia by him.
What our good fun at Asantima?
So maybe we are not about we see a dear community. We are looking.
They said they don't want money.
Almost your mum penny. But a bill,
Papa.
Oh, my son, the regulator front.
Where is everyone are good in Ghana?
Oh, wow.
Everything's good everywhere.
Now, so co-regulative front, what's the challenge?
But you can't force. We like dance with the Hinina Pinanka, no, I don't know. Yeah, bo Cocofu in our money. Near bo dance in our money.
But
he insisted that he wants to see the license near the Cochereno. And son, an opinion. If the paramount chief, if the Cocofini, he superintends over that area.
Or so
so no need dance who say almost dance with chief Nantia and no.
But still, no more pay.
Now, be back and today. Would it be Barbara? Maybe come off over charges away, but two need when, but that is it. You have to consult him.
Nene, Jumana, a Mebruno show mo pe adwuma. Akwanya wo ho se ye regulate that front no ma adwuma timi ba.
Senti ye fra bibi consultation. Eso TS here. One particular chief in Western Region one TS here da. But yeah, eventually so says we shown him pictures and videos of more CSO there no. So enti say ya no. O say okay dey mapene. He was overwhelmed by Tantana said, I should tell you soon. People dig and all those and said, no. Then we went to him, we took videos. In fact, on one occasion, we took him to one site. No, say, okay, if say no Ben there, then that's it. Then, yeah, man, assurance said, we will let him see all the structures. We personally took the chief there to inspect his structure. It took them about 3 months. No more inspect his structures in India. That is it. So we are expecting that he will preside over the ceremony. That's it. He was happy. He said, okay, if that's how you do it, Matthias here.
So, Mampon, there's been an attempt, but there's resistance.
Not that the chief says they don't want it. So let's leave it as that. I mean, there is not only that area. There are some other areas. They say they don't want it. You can force it.
Back to you.
Because right now, Yehun good or rara.
Yeah.
Me and my traditional answer and they say, there's nothing you can do. Unless maybe government decides that look, the deposit is so big that it is in a bigger interest of the state. Maybe a number
that will supersede.
And then the state supersedes everything. They'll do compulsory acquisition. Why? If it's in the interest of the state, so say ABB along this line. More you better composition acquire massage, including Joy FM near Chiam Namukomo baby, because if you government by some 12 lane and ABB, the interest of the state always supersedes. But of course, the state too cannot be capricious until you can even take government to court. Then the court will decide finally.
So gold catcher, they're saying.
Oh, it's just about roughly about $100,000
or cities?
Yes, dollars.
100,000.
Full set, Wow. You subsidize it. First, the main crusher, no. I think next time maybe I'll come and show you the machine.
Okay.
Then we have the crusher. Then your concentrator. Okay. Yeah, the generator can say baby light. Sometimes some of the sponsors are able to bring light to the site. But in the interim, when there's no light, connections, we only use a generator. No? That is it.
I see.
And I deal with better. I mean, it will take time to complete the formalization. Omaini, 1989. Something that was taking place in 5 regions: Asante, Eastern, Central, Western region, and Upper East. In the office of Boga doses 1989. Bare 50 to 100,000 people. Yeah, over 30 years, now 34 years. Afi, now the thing has moved from 5 to 13 regions, supporting a livelihood of 3 million. You think you can just resolve it overnight? These Danso people, when we told them, you see, small scale for almost starting now. Oh yeah, normally you can't show me preoccuped. My officer no call no your investigation. Into officer no the reporting but say master to me here say a mom. Oh yeah, bet me boss, bet me. Then the first thing is to go there and tell them that we are going to do it for you. Into Bianjai. Then we'll consult the district assembly and the chiefs. Then we'll process it. Do you understand that? So that is it. And a lot of them are led by chiefs. Some the MPs. Okay? And unim MPs in the to gold catcher no more.
Okay.
Oh yes, meaning baby. Okay? For example, Akufum say the MP, he is the one who organized the gold catcher for them. But MP who call campaign, what do you tell the people? Mutu mami na met me abuamo.
Eti obuano no.
Oh, so some of them come and do the deposit. Wow, if you require to have papers in processing fee na bibia mo. You understand that? Then they just leave them alone.
Okay, so besides saying komoya I
now MP sorry na who compare area bina Obama's commissioner da hona who can announce say Charlie manya baby amamu ebetumi afa binipa be 2,000 why gold catcher deposit but you are processing fee more enye votes and found so your MPP and NDC because NDC would buy a process amount. We MP would buy a process. If an NDC MP walks into my office and bring a call and say, oh, please check this in for me. I want to do mine small scale mining organized by people. We'll do it for him. We'll check it. Because he's bringing job. Because you see, if the government rather go to say that, we are processing this in for you, there are 2,000 jobs. Everybody knows that it is the Shishena government Yabano, which you also came and bought into. That's why you bought it. Why gold catcher buying a coffee and your MP came for it and they gave it to him because he's Ghanaian. Now I mean, how will he sign like say Obi the coordinates about your check it out and you not process it because he's on the other side? Then you're not a proper public official. You are there to serve everybody.
Well, Mrs. Yakase, Dr. Kobna Bonfe, the Reverend Kabila, or the Kratabia watching out the social politics of Galamsey. How did we get here? And
34 years of inaction. Tell him.
34 years
of inaction. Government after government, because small scale mining was we were the first to formalize small scale mining in Africa to allow it legally 1989 because World Bank said I don't know go to Togo. It started small scale gold law. That time the Minerals Commission keeps telling governments after government say my Sikanian farmer geological survey near in Shishim so that we can have blocks to be given out, the so-called block out area. Oh, man, when I say school down in Sue, idea okwa your hair, but you see government at here. Because you are not talking about small scale gold mining or mining in 13 regions. It's a matter of time we'll get into water OT because you don't know what the geology will say. Areas that we thought they were no good and then good in Kwa. We've known said data no, but you know Titino, we've been consumed by Asante, Eastern, Central and Co. See a same Kwa, they don't talk about it.
Okay.
A region like Upper East. It's the kind of gold there.
The last conversation now see geological department amo sika kakra.
Yes.
Omo kusu mom sika.
Yeah, no money. Yes.
For idea na sen combine either
this
that.
budget that was read, you will put in money for geological investigation. Yeah, no money.
Which you say sen kia in that.
Oh man, yes. Yes, started about 2-3 years ago. Into Bonfa block, exploration. Another area in Western region, etc. By next year June, be ready, and then we'll start giving it out. I don't know how do you stop the haphazard digging?
Yeah, we say only Dr. Kwabena Bonfebeya or conclude with the write up. They say Galamsey as an illegality is a legacy problem heightened by present indifference, impunity, and cynicism. It is the result of years of failed and or poorly managed natural resource exploitation. Nature is reacting to human indifference and hatred, manifested in an unbridled love for money. On the conclusion, how we've gotten here.
To a large extent, I will agree with him. Because you see, so you see where the business poorly managed now. He is also buying and agreeing with me, sir. As part of managing the sector, like what government is doing now, Nanka every year BIA traffic to ho. Okay, 20 square kilometers OT, 40 square kilometers Asante, 15 square kilometers Savannah, geological survey Sikanye, because you see, they need vehicles to go around. Now I say to new rig, I'm sure next 2 weeks or so government will adore it. They already drilling, you know. Do you understand? The excavator no to amrana. When they take the rods, they will take it to the lab. They will test it. It costs money. So what he's trying to say is that we've not managed the sector very well because within the last 34 years we were not doing this kind of thing.
Okay, so that's
goes, what he meant.
He goes further
to that extent. I agree with him.
He goes further to recommend. Consider amending the law on ownership of the mineral and exercising mineral rights. The community and individuals must have a share in the mineral they are sitting on. Its exploitation affects them. They will fight for their own. Appoint men and women of proven character and can stay above reproach into regulatory positions. Set boundaries, draw lines not to be crossed. Even among thieves, there is an honor. Virtuous, productive people build nations. Proverbs 14:34. Righteous exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Finally, Article 41 of the 1992 Constitution imposes duties on each citizen, A to K. Let each and every Ghanaian learn to be and live as a citizen of Ghana. These are some recommendations or prescribed.
Yeah, that is true. But you see, Omahini, sometimes we should not be so consumed by the fact that because you own it, you benefit from it. Ownership means nothing even if you don't manage it well. Let me tell you, countries where mining has changed the fortunes of those countries. Canada, Australia.
Mining.
Oh, mining is Australia. Australia is mining. Western Australia, Keke, the western part of Australia, is the biggest mining hub in the world. Two of the biggest mining companies in the world are in Australia, Rio Tinto and BHP. Australia, who share expertise, they go in Ghana for go Australia in the mining sector. Wow, there are several thousands of expatriates, mainly from Zimbabwe, South Africa, Ghana, Canada, and all those in working in Australia. Do you understand that? So, yes, in a way you can discuss ownership, but ownership does not necessarily mean that even if you own the resource 100%, it will still benefit you if you don't do it very well. Okay? For me, ensuring that the exploitation of the mineral leads to broad-based development, the inputs, the mining and all those services are generated here, are done here, then that is it. I have just 2 days ago, Namisha Chamber of Mines to review the local content report for 2022. I'll start discussing them next week. Lithium there.
Okay.
Okay, I said 3 years ago, we had said we will not allow companies that are foreign owned to sell fuel. So I'm buying to the ownership thing about what Bonfe said. 3 years ago, now the fuel spent, the amount of money spent by mining company on fuel was $100 million. Then we said we will not allow foreign companies to sell fuel in the mines. This is Ghana 4. You see, that's the ownership part. You understand that? Hey. Then last year I told you that 2021 the fuel was 300 million. 2022 report which we just presented to Chamber of Mines, 13 companies spent. Do you know the figure?
Tell me.
$438 million.
13 companies
on fuel alone. Petrol I had Togo Fidie na mu use no.
Kanena foreign companies in the
that an $100 million. And look, let's accept this. Minimum say wako London da. Indian shop, India's na ko. Pakistan. You understand that? If an American company comes here, he will look for American doctors, everything American, Australia, everything.
Why not Ghana?
So at the end of 2022, mining companies spent $438 million to purchase fuel, which is heavily taxed. So that was a lot of revenue to government. But this money or money went into the pocket of what? Ghanaians. If we had not changed the ownership architecture for certain items on the procurement list, like one, which is fuel, you still have the likes of Total, Engine, Vivo supplying fuel to the mine. If a French mining company comes here, they will let Total supply. But we said no. So if Kwabena Bonfe is mentioning ownership, this is the angle I want us to take it. The inputs, the services, the things they use for the mine. Look, contract mining is almost $912 million last year. I have enough. Cardinal. What is the other one? Azuma. They are all lithium. These 4 new mines, which will be ready 2024, it be 2025. They all be buying fuel. So my home be 2-3 years. Fuel supply alone to the mines will be $1 billion industry.
I really want
this is preserved. This is preserved for Ghanaians. Sometimes for castle ownership, don't only think about the company. Okay, of course the mineral is owned by the good people of Ghana, but the services, okay, they spend 3-4 times on the services than the receipts government receive in terms of taxes and royalties. So we should rather be targeting the services and the inputs that are used by the mining companies and design policies and programs to ensure say Ghana for be capture home. What did they make out? Security, catering, all those things that run into. Look, almost $2 billion was spent last year. Next week, maybe I'll distinguish between local content and true local content. So, for example, the 2 billion, out of the 2 billion, were spent. The company spent, let's say, $2 billion on local procurement. The question is, how much of that is true local procurement? That is the manufacturers and services that were procured by companies that are owned by Ghanaians. And no, that's what you have to look at.
Okay, Chief, me present here twice na anka value addition. Bring it here, but you wrap up. Dr. Bonfe so is so much interested in the conversation. He's come back
so
again.
Tell him that the fuel is one of the several
and
angles of ownership.
He goes ahead to say ownership is largely the reason for the many problems. And also issue. How can we justify the law that is colonial in nature? The Minerals Act of 2006, Section 1, which is generally lifted from Article 257, was the colonial response after the failed Crown Land Bill of 1896. You don't know what challenge said. How do we still go by that Mineral Act? No. Outmoded.
What is outmoded about it? The resources, the mineral resources belong to the good people of Ghana. It is just held in trust, on behalf of the people by the president. And then the person instructed to grant, revoke, and cancel mineral rights is the minister. And the minister acts on the recommendation of the Minerals Commission. The Minerals Commission, which I head, is supposed to manage the sector. That is it. So what is colonial about it?
Okay,
because the minerals doesn't belong to the president. He's just a trustee. Okay? BB minister and Minerals Commission. And people can challenge us. You understand? People can challenge us on certain things. Okay? So that is it. So the ownership thing there's a lot to talk about. Tell him that, I'm sure he's listening to us, that's why he's responding. Tell him, say, Atlantic Lithium almost started, say, they are listing on a stock exchange and selling shares. Uncle Toby. So, Antoa or Shami or Kwanwa, you shouldn't tell me, say, foreigners are taking our resource away. So tell Boomfed that also you should start holding money. You should start
to ensure, say,
so when Atlantic Lithium, which is imminent, start trading on the stock exchange. Because the one they are coming to trade is reserved for Ghanaians.
Okay.
Yeah, Tagati pension funds, Snit and Co. Uncle Toby. And that's a 2-3 years time. Obi whom no catch him so muti hona abrofone be fire resources. Make catch say, Uko Safa, Uko America. And you mentioned Ghana. In Kofofu say Guyana. They don't know where Ghana is located. So ask yourself, America, Newmont, largest mining company in the world. Almost for $15 billion got Newcrest in Australia. They are building a half of $1 billion. Oh, Tihase, a money risky. Oh, do millions back or rare estate or Cantonment. Now they are renting. Who share me? Now condemn me say Titiana bro for fire resource.
Mekebi.
Omoko raise
Titiana.
Omoko raise 400,000, 500,000, $50 million. And Australians will be using year exploration where we are over 6-7 years. $50 million in Nibiwa. But yes, you have to raise all the $50 million per coupe. Wow. Maybe this year $500,000. No more coins shame. Next year 400. They didn't raise the $50 million per coupe. Omokwana raise $1 million, 500,000. It was stock exchange. Now Tiha. Tinya Yabahan ye bought the rule. If the shares start running, go and buy. We are restricting it to Ghanaians, pension funds and co. Man talk 3-4 years time. So we name no shame baby so Titiana we see your Minerals Commissioner. Then you come and blame me. So part of again one aspect or dimension of the ownership issue is when we are saying that they should list on the stock exchange for Ghanaians to buy. Then there's also myth taking our money to go and buy shares 6% and co. So ownership now these are the various forms beyond the fact that the mineral in this natural state belong to the republic. But that alone will not bring you money into Munko Toby.
Chief Executive Minerals Commission. You try more about this here.